Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In the last video we disassembled the front end of the Integra, got the core support mocked up. So today I planned on getting everything done. I actually took off work to get it done, but it rained all day, so we're getting a pretty late start. So I'm just going to do as much as I can and try to get what I can done. So let's jump right into this. Alright, so where we left off is we just bolted this core support in right here with the factory bolts, so it's just kind of sitting on here loosely. So if you look in this area right here, I kind of scribed a line in it. This whole piece right here has to get cut off so this core support could sit flush, because if you see, look right here, this isn't exactly sitting flush, so you have to cut a little bit behind where it curves up right here. So I'm going to do that real quick with the grinder. So here's the pieces that we ended up cutting off the front end. As you can see, it's going to line up a lot better now. This has to get pushed back a little bit. So what we're going to do now is take the fenders and just bolt those on and make sure this front's lining up, because you'll have one hole here, one hole here, and then the third hole actually goes on the core support. So once we get this lined up, we can mark here and here with a marker to see exactly where it has to sit. I'm starting to see exactly how it's going to look. The lines are not perfect. This one sits a lot better than the other side. The gap on this side still needs to be adjusted. There's no hood latch, so this really doesn't stay down like how it's supposed to. This line's decent on this side, but like over here, it's a lot bigger than the other side. And I can't open this door all the way because these steps right here, this needs to be adjusted, but this pretty much gives me the right idea exactly where it has to be, because this corner right here lines up with this edge of the hood. This one lines up with this edge. And I can still adjust the hood if I have to. So next I want to make sure that the bumper and stuff lines up. So what I'm going to do is grab the rest of the pieces I need. Next I have these brackets that hold up the bumper support. So I'm just going to bolt these in. I'm going to pull these bolts out one at a time, and then stick these on, and then move to the other side, stick that on. Bumper bar supports are both on. So now we're going to put this bumper bar on. There's going to be two 10s on each side. So we're going to stick that on real quick, but we're going to leave it loose so we can adjust it. Bumper support bar is on. Just those two bolts like that on each side. So next we're going to stick these Fender Brace things on. So basically this goes this way. You'll see a little tab sticking out of it. Have the 10 that goes in here, and right down here you have a 10 that goes up right into the chassis. There's already a threaded hole, and then it's pretty much the same for the passenger side. Fender braces are in. As you can see, fenders are pretty stiff now, even though this bolt's just hand tightened. So next up, we are going to stick our headlights in, just mock them up. Alright, so I got the headlights back in. Basically, there's 1, 2, 3, right down here, right there, and 4 on the fender. Unfortunately, my driver's side has a broken tab for the fender one, but gotta expect that we use Japanese parts. So once you do that, you should be able to push this bumper support all the way up and just tighten up the two top bolts, because we're just mocking it up. That'll probably need to be adjusted once the bumper gets on. So I'm going to slide the bumper in place and see how this thing looks. I am super excited for how this is coming out. The bumper isn't screwed on at all on the sides. It's kind of just pressed into place. I'll put the grill on. It's just 2 screws in the corners, and there's like some clips that line it up. So I'm gonna shut the hood and I'll give you guys a look at what this looks like. it looks like a totally different car now. The hood shut, everything lines up in the front pretty good. Just have to work on the fender alignment, but Jesus, I'm super happy with this. Front bumper's back off. I want to work on welding this core support in. I'm leaving the fenders and headlights and bumper support all in. That way it'll stay kind of lined up for me for the meantime. I put this clamp right here to kind of hold this tight to the frame rail, and I grinded off a little paint from my ground here. And I'm going to try to do all these holes right here first, and then I'm going to move over to the other side. Now, I'm the king of trash welds, so be gentle in the comments, but a grinder is always your best friend for trash welds. So I have the welds done on this side and this side. Like I said, they're not going to be pretty, but I don't really care as long as they penetrate, which they did. You can see it from the back side of the metal. So now I'm going to drop the bumper support and pull out the headlights. Alright, so I got this side welded in. You can see like right here where there's a hole. That's where I took the spot weld bit and drilled right through it. I tried to take a brass hammer and hold it behind it to get a better weld, but it's on there good. It doesn't move at all. Right down here, these welds kind of stick up a little bit, so I'm gonna grind those down. On this side, these all came out good. Down here, this is the first one I did. I think I had the heat too high for this thin metal, so it kind of burnt through, but the one next to it caught pretty good. So that's in there good. So next up, I'm going to take off these bumper support brackets one at a time and see if there's any holes behind there I can weld. Alright, so I did pull off the bumper support brackets and get those welded behind there. Also weld at the top on both sides. So right now I'm just trying to throw this thing back together, but you can see this thing is strong. It's not going anywhere. So the booger welds are going to hold. I also spray painted over all the welds and wherever there was bare metal that I cut. So basically, that's how you do the front end. I'm just putting everything back together pretty much the same exact way as I mocked it up. So next video, it's going to be how to wire up the headlights. I'm going to try to do it the proper way. But I know for the fog lights and the city lights, I'm going to have to run relays and buttons or switches, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet. But if you have any questions about this, feel free to leave them in the bottom. This was my first time doing this, and it's probably taken me like about 8 hours with taking everything apart, cutting the front of the car off, weld the new core support on, mock everything up. So it's not a really long process. Just take your time, check everything twice before you cut anything, and you'll be golden. But I'm going to hurry up and throw this car back together before it gets dark. I'll post up a picture afterwards. But until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.